redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life.
Well, negotiations, right? Politics. And we're out of time, so you...
Hey y'all, Gravity, ain't day above ground living. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Thursday. If you were there in the last live, we're back. If you're not, hey, good afternoon. Ah, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. You know how that they love to say that Charlie Kirk was a great debater? Well, especially with what happened in Oxford University, that was shattered. That's why they love to talk to college students over here, because they know that they don't know everything yet. But what should happen when Charlie Kirk has to debate somebody that's around his age group? Well, we're going to watch that today. Now, this was about 4 years ago during the height of the C-19 debacle. Or more like, let me see when this was. October 10th. So this was after that. We were still in the emergency, but you know, this was still in the height of it because we were going into the cold season and those variants were running around. So we're going to watch this debate with Charlie Kirk here and Ben Glib, or Glabe, or whatever his name is. He was a comedian. And it didn't go as well as, you know, them folk thought. It was bad. So strap in, get something to eat, and let's have fun.
Comedian, right? Extraordinary, that's what they call me. Yep. We are honored to be here tonight to be discussing all sorts of things, but specifically, we're going to be talking about abortion. The way it will work is very structured, and then we will enter into the laissez-faire and regulated portion of the conversation. Feel free to interrupt each other and have all sorts of fun. And so it'll be 2 minutes, and then a series of 1 minute back and forth, and then off to the races. Opening statement will go to our guest. And we have here today on the set 2 people who thankfully were not aborted. So Ben, first statement for you.
When we're done with this debate, maybe you'll be questioning that statement.
About you?
About yourself.
He said after this debate, Charlie's going to wish he was aborted. Okay, let's set the tone now. White on white crime already starting. Let's get it.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. So this is obviously a pretty contentious issue. one that affects women around the country, of course, so I think it's best that two men are debating it. And it is, actually, though, I say that sarcastically, but really it is because we all need to be able to support each other. And so I prepared some things to say at the beginning, just food for thought to go. I'd like to start by quoting a woman who wrote a very interesting article in the Washington Post. Very funny article, too. She said about some of the hypocrisies of this position being anti-choice. We believe in freedom. Your fist must stop where my nose starts. Except this one minor thing is obviously not a big deal, where you have to use your body to build another body from whole cloth, give it eyeballs and a circulatory system, undergo months and months of creeping bodily horror as your torso becomes unrecognizable to you. Familiar smells become off-putting, and then at the end of this process, you have a human being for whom you have to arrange a life. Compare that minor, barely palpable discomfort with the shocking, invasive horror of placing a strip of fabric across your nose when entering a business for 3 to 5 minutes. I shudder just imagining it. You can cough and breathe on whoever you like. It's a God-given right. Nothing worse as a human than to have to conceal your exquisite nose. We don't believe in restricting anyone from living as he chooses unless, of course, it's tangible minor things like who wants to vote or get abortions, or both of which are going to disproportionately, of course, impact people of color. But does that matter? I guess not. After all, it's your body, and of course, we view your autonomy as sacred and worthy of protection. It's just that if your body contains a uterus, it does not technically belong to you. It's more of a vacant lot for us to regulate as we see fit, and your neighbors to be encouraged to sue about. So, no matter our race, our gender, or our zip code, that's the end of the quote, this is me now, I believe we all should be able to come to a consensus that we can decide for ourselves whether and when to have children. But a handful of politicians today are trying to pass laws that destroy our freedoms, undermine our rights, and endanger our futures. They make decisions that force people to struggle, to simply make ends meet or care for their families, and then shame and blame those that they force that into. And while they're busy fighting for our most basic rights, they hand the money that they take from our health care and our schools to our kids' futures and their corporate donors. We are in a democracy, not a theocracy, and it's nuts to allow government to think they can have a say in the choices a woman makes for her own body. And the last most important point is that by doing this, women will die. Young girls will die. Without safe places to go for abortions, they will still find a way to get. Our daughters, sons, nieces, teachers, mothers will die. Would you rather your daughter die, if you have a daughter one day, or make a safe choice for her own life, or decide to start a family for her own life? And if you choose die, how is that pro-life?
Thank you. Okay, so I think the entire kind of framing of this debate first needs to start with the type of privilege that we have. Both you and I have age privilege and size privilege.
Yeah.
To say that we believe that certain life should not exist.
By the way, before I let him continue, this is going to be fun because that white man just said a whole lot of stuff. But, he ain't say nothing. But let's go.
There's been 62 million abortions in America since the ruling of Roe versus Wade. So if you go to just a seventh grade textbook of what is a living being, or what is a being that has some sort of life, it will say that it's distinct and that it's whole. What makes a human life so incredibly unique and so magical is you do not need to encourage or tell that life to grow. It's not like a Corvette on an assembly line. Is that human life will develop naturally. This really kind of goes down to the question of when does human life begin? When does personhood begin? And the science of embryology says very clearly that life, human life, begins at conception. Now, speaking non-scientifically as a moral argument, we have overseen the slaughter of our fellow citizens over the last couple decades. This is a genocide, dare I say a holocaust of
I thought Christians don't believe in science.
our citizens that has occurred since Roe versus Wade. You talked about women. Well, just statistically, half of the 62 million abortions since Roe versus Wade are 31 million women that never had the chance to live. We have a luxury and a privilege that we are able to say we are old enough and developed enough. We're larger and we're older to say to another life right now that's in the womb that you have no right to exist. You talked briefly about the racial part of it. 900 black babies a day are aborted every single day in this country. We need to have a moral question.
Did you catch it? I ask again, did you catch it? Why are black people in this? You're debating another white man, why are you bringing black babies into it? Why don't you talk about the abortions that white college students have every year?
Here of when does life begin? What is a human being? If it is not your DNA, it is not your choice. And we, as a society of human beings, the least we can do is ask ourselves the question: are those people, are those persons in the womb worthy of protection? I would contend absolutely. It is the most important moral question I think we as Americans and we in a free society can debate and discuss, that all life is worthy of protection.
Loves it. So lots of problems with what you said. Let me start picking them apart. First, as a Jewish person, I take large offense to comparing a life that never got to exist to a Holocaust, which killed my family, who did get to.
He just went, he's about to go Super Saiyan on him. Let's go.
Exist and were snuffed out. To say those are even comparable is deeply offensive, but let's put that aside for a second. You said that the definition, by your own words and by the science of embryology, is that life is distinct. But an embryo is not distinct of the mother, whom it is literally attached to and dependent on it for all nutrients and all survival. If it can survive in this world, if it can take a breath and go on to live, that is a distinct being, and you've got a great argument there. But without that, you simply do not. And you also contradicted yourself when you said that it is life, and then a minute later you said, never got the chance to live. A life had a chance to live if it's a life, right? So, in fact, it did not have a chance to live because it's not a life yet until it is born. Booyah, baby.
Okay. How dumb that argument is?
I don't understand.
That's like saying you never had a chance to live if I killed you right now.
But
What
no,
I'm saying is,
booyah, baby.
okay, so you understand how dumb that argument is?
I don't understand.
That's like saying you never had a chance to live if I killed you right now.
But no,
5 letters come to mind. Irony. We continue.
Saying is that the baby was alive and it got murdered in the womb, therefore it never had a chance to live past the point of it being alive. What I meant is that it never had a chance to live to a 5-year-old birthday, or a 15-year-old birthday, or a 30-year-old birthday. Again, using age and size privilege that you have and I have, you say, you know what, we should be able to quash and quelch the 62 million human beings that never had a chance to live outside of the womb. Here's the basic syllogism that I bring as a pro-life advocate. It is always wrong to intentionally kill a human life. Abortion is intentionally killing a human life. Therefore, abortion is morally wrong. And so you're going to be making an argument about choice, but some choices are wrong. For example, it's wrong to kill human beings. So you're going to have to make an argument to the audience why either A, this is not a human life, or B, why the mother has the right to murder her own child.
sure. I'm going to choose the former of those options. Why I do not believe it is a life. And it's easy to make that point. But let me first say this. You are saying that it is a life that got snuffed out. And I don't mean to pull my age privilege on you, but I'm a little older than you. How old are you, Charlie?
27.
27. How come you didn't say 28?
Because I'll be 28 in 2 weeks.
But if life begins at conception, you're 10 months older than that, and you actually are 28. Why don't you say 28?
Jesus Christ. Okay. Let's see how he responded to that.
Because that's the way we categorize birthdays.
That's the way you celebrate your life. That's the way we acknowledge life. That's the way we cut. The birthday begins when you are born.
So I'll let
if life begins at conception,
I'll let you know.
if life begins at conception, you would count your life from the moment that egg was fertilized. When you were the size of a poppy seed, not even a poppy seed, but after a couple days, a poppy seed size life that you're celebrating that great birthday. But you don't, because you don't actually believe that it is a human life. You do believe that, if you believe the science, it's quite obvious that it is the germ of a life. It's the beginning of a life. It's the beginning of a gestation of a life. If you're building a cake, baking a cake, you take the ingredients. When that cake is done, you got a cake. No one is saying it's a cake when it's ingredients that will become, after baking, a cake. And if you throw that cake away because it doesn't come out properly into ever being a cake. You don't say, man, you just threw away a perfectly good cake. No, you say, that cake never became a cake.
So I'm just curious, and we'll just kind of go into the...
I like eating some cake, guy. Sure.
So when does human life begin?
I think the human life begins at birth.
At birth?
Yes.
So it's okay to terminate a child right up to 9 months. Full development, full birth, full breath, feeling, all of it.
No, I don't personally believe that, no.
So when is a human life worthy of constitutional and legal protection?
That's not what you asked him. Whoa, that's not what you asked him. You said, when does life start? He said at birth. Don't do that now. You see how he tried it. See, he could have pulled that bullshit on a college student. He's not going to pull that on a grown adult. But let me see what he said.
Full breath, feeling, all of it.
No, I don't personally believe that, no.
So when is a human life worthy of constitutional and legal protection?
I believe that a human life becomes one that we should do our damnedest to protect when it is viable outside of the womb. That's my belief.
So what do you mean viable? Like
when it can survive without the mother being connected.
So that's 3 or 4 years old. If you can hunt and gather on yourself, a 2-year-old is totally dependent on the mother. Should we be able to kill 2-year-olds?
You should have seen me as a 2-year-old. I was very crafty.
So how about
Jesus Christ. Here we go.
Listen, some kids can survive on their own.
So your moral position is to be able to kill 6-month-olds because they have to breastfeed for their mother.
No. I'm simply saying.
What? This is, wait a minute. The right wingers, this is who y'all said is a great debater? Are you serious? A 6-month-old doesn't need breast milk, sir. That's why they give him formula. This man. This can't be this man. This can't be the great debater. This can't be. Oh my God. If that was the case, then Enfamil and Similac and the other one wouldn't be around. Come on. This is the dude.
When something is attached and dependent on the nutrients of life,
like
and dependent on the ability, no, a 6-month-old.
A 6-month-old can go hunt and gather and grow their own crops.
No, but he could probably crawl around and find some crumbs on the ground. We live in a society
that's a degree of dependency of crumbs created by somebody else. You understand?
Everything's dependency. Hunting and gathering is dependent on there being animals around.
A 15-year-old or a 20-year-old has the reason, the capacity, the maturity to be able to not be dependent on other human beings.
I understand that, Razor, but Charlie tried to make an argument that you could kill a 6-month-old because he's breastfeeding. A 6-month-old is not solely predicated on life through their mother. And this dude told him, yes, you're dependent. If you're dependent on your mother via attachment, yes, you shouldn't kill it. But there are kids that don't need their parents as much as they think they do when they're young. I'm just saying, this is why formula was created. Some women can't breastfeed. Some women aren't, their bloodstreams can't do it. Whatever you want to use it as their rationale. We can argue how processed all this formula is, but the point is you have an option. Charlie's just dumb, but we're going to let him continue.
Being.
I don't know if you've seen 15.
So your moral position is that if you are dependent on another, you should be able to be terminated.
No.
Okay, so what is your moral position? Like, when does human life begin? That should be protected by the law.
I think human life should be protected by the law when it is born, because that is the only marker. You yourself have said, well, I'll tell you why. Because you yourself have said that, and it was a really well-made point that you made, and I'll quote you back to you. You said, we have a universal standard for when death is, but we do not have a universal standard for when life begins, and we should. And then you go on to say, and I believe life begins at conception.
I do, yes.
But you then put your own personal belief at the end of that great quote. We do currently have a universal standard that we all agree when life begins, at least, and that's from birth. Some believe it begins earlier, but not all. If you want the
if your argument is to change how we do birthdays, I'm totally on board for that.
Fair enough.
So I'm actually 28 years old.
Thank you. If you want someone changes Wikipedia. If you want the
Did anybody just peep how he bowed down to a Jewish man? TPUSA MAGA. This is your great debater. Yeah.
universal standard you shall see. The universal standard we currently have is from birth. So my very important point to you here is if you want to work harder to get that universal standard to change and to convince the populace to get on board with redefining that, do so with argument, do so with fair, good faith argument to get the population on board and change the position of the country. Great, I'm all for you trying to do that. But until you do, the universal standard of when life begins is when somebody is born. Life doesn't exist without being alive, in the world. Life is life. Until you're in the world and have a consciousness and the ability to think and to experience and to develop, you are not yet a life.
Yeah. So we'll just resume going back and forth. Sure.
They had to take a quick commercial break. Probably at this point they were probably playing Pfizer commercials, but you know, it's okay. Razor, you mean he was more Christian than MAGA? You gotta start referring to him in the past tense.
So
Life begins when life begins. That's the current definition of it and its definition of words.
the science of embryology is when deoxyribonucleic acid is formed. So I just want to make sure we're clear.
That's the science of embryology, not of life.
Why is a Christian quoting science? I ask again. Why is a Christian quoting science?
That's when an embryo
I just
begins.
made up a word called lifeology.
And you made up a science of embryology as though that
I
defined
did
as
not
birth.
make a science of embryology. It is a well-studied
Yeah, but you're
well-credentialed.
jumping and leaping that is what life is.
So do you
That's
think
an
when
em-
DNA
that's
is
weird.
formed, it's okay just to eliminate it? It will never be formed again. It is distinct. It is unique.
Yeah.
It is whole. The science of embryology says it starts at conception.
Well, that's the science.
62 million human beings that were never able to
Yes,
get
and-
live outside of the womb.
And you're a genocidal murderer every time you masturbate, Charlie.
Why?
Because there is DNA in sperm,
No, but
and
the
every
DNA
head of
it
sperm
never
has
formed.
DNA,
First of all,
and it is a distinct thing that's swimming around.
It never formed.
And
It
there's
never
millions
fertilized
of
with
them,
an egg.
hundreds of millions.
Never
that you're
fertilized
killing
with an
in
egg.
a tissue and flushing down.
But wait a minute, Charlie, your girl Candace Owens said that master debating, pause. They said that that's a sin. She over there railing on porn now. Talking about how dudes are just... Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Charlie felt a little embarrassed.
Toilet, why?
It never fertilized with an egg. So let me ask
So
you a
what?
question.
Why is that your line?
Because that's what I said, when a unique DNA
That's
is
what you
formed with an egg, that's what the science of embryology says.
And the science of science also says...
The science of science?
The science of science
that,
also
you understand
says...
how dumb you sound, right?
The science of spermology also says
Spermology.
that sperm is alive.
By the way, I said pause in my head.
You deny sperm is alive.
Do I deny that sperm is alive? That is my own sperm, and your fixation with sperm is like creepy and kind of weird.
Your
honestly,
fixation with women's wombs is creepy and kind of weird.
No,
so
actually,
even it out.
My moral position to protect the unborn is one that I wish you had.
I wish you had that same dedication to protect the born children in this world.
Well, I do. So let me ask you a question.
You're 6 weeks, funding it in most terms.
The child's eyes and eyelids, nose and mouth and tongue have formed. Terminated. That's okay? Child's eyelids, nose, mouth, and tongue. Terminate?
Well, they're not real human ones. They're developing ones.
Got it. So electrical brain activity can be detected at 6 or 7 weeks and by the end of the 8th week. Terminate? Not a human.
It's not a human.
Got it. Okay. By 10 weeks after conception,
also, by the way,
the child can make bodily movements.
It's half a centimeter big at this point and 0.25 of an ounce.
I'm taller than you, so I should be able to terminate you?
No, because we're talking about scale. How tall are you?
I'm 6'4", much taller than you.
6'1".
So your moral argument is taller people should be able to terminate smaller people. Got it.
Never said that.
That's what you said. It's small, therefore you can terminate.
No,
from as early as 12 weeks, and certainly by 20 weeks, an unborn child can feel pain. Is it okay to terminate a child that can feel pain?
Pain, that is a disputed scientific fact, because pain without the ability to understand any sort of context is not pain as humans know it. They register what is happening, but it is not pain as though, oh man, it hurts.
So if something can't register the pain, it's okay to torture something?
Correct, if it can't register the pain.
So if someone is on a ventilator, if someone is in comatose and you torture them, that's morally acceptable?
If it cannot register the pain, then it's not registering the pain.
Let me ask you a question. Are you okay with abortions for people that found out they are pregnant with Down syndrome children?
I wouldn't do it.
Are you okay with? Is it morally okay for a society to embrace that?
But they do. Hey, dumbass, they don't do it because there's Down syndrome people out here living a comfortable life. What are you talking about? You see what he's doing? It's become more accepted to have the kid there with Down syndrome because they have programs now that can help them adjust to be well-adjusted humans. What are you talking about? Damn, I tell you, he dumb. He was dumb.
Not about that. I think a lot of people with Down syndrome live beautiful lives.
So are they?
Razor, what do you mean? What do you mean? Why people would have a Down syndrome kid? Maybe they were going for a while and couldn't have kids, and they finally got one. Yeah, okay, the kid might have Down syndrome. If they don't believe in abortion, they go and have the kid, and they have to adjust their lives to make their lives more comfortable. What's wrong with that? So I'm going to assume if you found out that your kid had a debilitating disease, you're going to get rid of it, not try to figure out in the time then how to find a solution to make their lives comfortable or even try to cure it. You're just going to get rid of it. Oh, okay. All right. I mean, that's fine if you want to do that. That's cool.
Give protection.
That's not a fair thing to ask.
Why?
Because I'm saying that fetuses with Down syndrome or fetuses without Down syndrome are not children. So you're going to a specific within the whole. But I'm arguing that all of it is not a human life yet. So you're going specific.
So let me ask you a question. What species is it on the animal?
Cool, Razor. What if your old lady tells you she's not getting rid of it? What then?
Animal kingdom. If it's not a human life, what kind of life is it?
It's not a life yet.
Well, you just said it was a human life.
No, I did not say it was a human life.
So it's not alive?
It is not.
So something with eyelids, nose, mouth, and a heartbeat is not alive? What is it? Is it dead?
So a sperm with DNA and a head that can swim and find an egg is not alive? Is it dead?
Well, it's not been fertilized with an egg. With a
Why
unique
is fertilizing? It is
because
unique.
according to science of embryology, that sperm, when it is formed with an egg, creates a new being of deoxyribonucleic acid that is formed, that is magical, unique, and distinct only to that moment, therefore worthy of conception, and begins the process of the development of a full human being, where the sperm, independent of that...
You didn't answer my question. If you found out with your old lady, y'all are having a kid with Down syndrome, are you going to force her to get the abortion?
Does not have that. Again, your fixation with sperm, kind of weird.
My sperm is magical and unique and worthy of whatever, the conception you said too. I got good sperm, and that's just a public service announcement for people that want to know that.
Pause!
I can't say my obsession with the first building block of life is weird, But your obsession with 6 hours later or 3 days later
Right.
when it hits an egg is not weird.
But you admit there's something magical that happens once that sperm and egg meet, that a human life begins, that process begins, that a new DNA is formed, where two beings become one. Don't you admit that?
I think it's as magical as the incredible thing that we are given sex drives that compel us to ejaculate and that compel women to drop an egg to have the potential to receive life. That is as equally magical. But you don't contend those are lives. You don't.
Why are they talking about ejaculation and how magical it is? Pause. Okay, Razor. So let's play that game. Let's play that game. So would you? Okay, let's just say your old lady has the gene for Down syndrome. Are you gonna stay with her or not? Let me know. And to reverse the question, if she found out you had the gene for the Down syndrome, should she stay with you? Yes or no? Knowing there's a high probability that you two are going to have a kid with Down syndrome, you gonna stay with her or not? Or should she stay with you or not? Let me know.
Don't think someone having a period.
Let me ask you a question.
And you don't think sperm ejaculation is
So
murder.
since you're so bizarrely fascinated with sperm,
You're bizarrely fascinated with women's bodies and regulating them even though you're not a woman.
I am very fascinated in saving babies' lives. I will not.
That's not what he said.
So let me ask you a question. Since you're fixated on sperm, a sperm, absent meeting an egg, does what?
It dies.
Once a sperm meets an egg, uninterrupted from abortion interference, does what?
Oftentimes it will fertilize it, obviously not always.
And live.
No, and begin.
And grow.
And continue. I didn't begin.
Nourish,
Continue the building blocks of it. Continues.
And live a full life.
Not true.
So your argument of your kind of creepy fixation with sperm, which is that the sperm, absent the fertilization of the abortion interference, does what? Once a sperm meets an egg, uninterrupted from abortion interference, does what?
Oftentimes it will fertilize it, obviously not always.
And live.
No, and begin.
And grow.
And continue. I didn't begin.
Nourish,
continue the building blocks
develop,
of it. Continues.
And live a full life.
Not true.
So your argument of your kind of creepy fixation with sperm, which is that the sperm, absent the fertilization of the egg,
you want to keep saying
does
creepy
not
fixation.
Sir, if Razor, if we did what you did, everybody did, nobody'd be fucking and there'd be no kids here. The human race would die.
On
continue
sperm,
to
so your
grow,
followers can
but
message
once
that to
the
me.
sperm
You have a creepy fixation
meets
with
with
controlling
eggs,
women's bodies. So stop
it
that
turns
phrase. You want me to
into
listen to
human life
Stop that
and
phrase.
grows
If I'm making a
and
story,
develops.
stop. If I'm making
You're
a
the one
Charlie,
that wants to interfere and
Charlie,
destroy
I'm not
a
hearing this
baby
point because if
to
you're
be
going to
able
make
to grow.
if you're going to make a scientific argument,
I have.
then don't make a stupid point over and over again about part of that scientific
No,
argument.
I'm just clarifying the lack of wisdom in your argument.
Lack of
where
wisdom
you say
how?
sperm independent of meeting an egg does what?
It dies if it
So
doesn't.
once the sperm meets the egg, uninterfered by an abortionist, it does what?
It dies, and an
No,
egg.
it lives. A sperm meeting an
Oh,
egg,
sperm meeting an egg, right.
uninterfered with an abortionist, it does what?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
But when it does develop, it
It eventually becomes alive
you.
when it's born.
Or me.
When it's born.
Or our fellow human beings.
And when it doesn't, when it leads to a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy, it doesn't lead to those things. And then abortions can, or not even abortions, DNC procedures can help clear that out so the woman can go on to have a family in the future. Let me ask you a question. You're so against abortion and protecting lives,
No, I'm very pro-baby.
but you are okay with abortion if it saves a woman's life. Why?
So actually, I will clarify that. That's so exceedingly rare. And in fact,
Great.
over 1,000 OBGYNs, nurses, and neonatologists sign a declaration stating, quote, as experienced practitioners and researchers in gynecology, we affirm that direct abortion, the purposeful destruction of an unborn child, is almost never medically necessary to save the life of a woman. So
Yeah.
in the extraordinarily
Yeah.
rare case, which is so hard to find and pinpoint, the
Well, it's not so hard to find. It happens, and there's many.
very rare. Well, these
millions of
1,000
documented cases.
OBGYNs say no.
That's great, and there's a lot that say yes, and it happens, and you're aware it happens. So try not to use a distracting statistic.
Well-
you're okay with it in those rare instances. Why?
Because there could be other children in the future that
Right,
could be born.
that's my whole argument.
However,
if a woman's
it's
not ready to have a child now, there could be other children in the future when they are ready to raise them successfully in life.
I will correct my own previous statement by saying I don't even think it's ever medically necessary. Because these 1,000 OBGYNs and nurses have said you can have cesarean sections. That's not to say there might not be necessary medical treatments, but to use abortion as the medical necessary treatment, I think is almost never the case whatsoever. Case closed.
No, you can't say case closed.
Well, I'm going to trust the 1,000 OBGYNs.
Who say it's hard to pinpoint and it's rare, but
do
it
not
happens.
trust the 1,000 OBGYNs.
I don't know who they are. There's millions of OBGYNs out there.
The 1,000 say you're wrong.
And the 100 million others say that I'm right.
Let me ask you a question. You retweet Planned Parenthood quite a lot.
Sure.
What do you have to say about the Planned Parenthood founder, Margaret Sanger, who's a eugenicist, who says we don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the black population? Does that bother that Planned Parenthood is a eugenicist organization?
I've never heard that quote.
How about this one?
I doubt the authenticity of that quote, but if it's true, I obviously condemn that quote.
How about this one from Planned Parenthood founder Margaret Sanger? Human beings, our goal is to eliminate human beings who never should have been born at all. Or birth control is nothing more or less weeding out the unfit. Are you comfortable associating yourself with eugenicists?
I'm not comfortable associating.
First off, conservatives use birth control, so I would be quiet if I was you. You gotta love Charlie when he would say asinine things like this. There's conservatives at Liberty University right now with birth control in their pocketbooks and in their nightstands. Huh.
Say myself to Genesis or that quote, if that answers your question.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure. Because
Awesome.
I got plenty for you.
Awesome. How many children do you have?
None yet.
Why?
Well, I got married in May, so it's a work in progress.
So you're working on having kids soon.
Y'all can make all the jokes you want.
Why haven't you adopted yet? Are you going to adopt kids
Well,
that
I'm
are
married,
in need of help?
So I do kind of live a busy life. But I would
And there it is. The man who cared about life, he said, why didn't you just adopt kids? He was like, I live a busy life. Okay, motherfucker.
actually it's on the table.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. So Charlie's going to adopt soon. Excellent.
Potentially.
At 8 weeks, we have tails. At 8 weeks, an embryo has tails. Do humans have tails, Charlie?
I'm sorry, what?
Serious question. Do human beings have tails?
I'm not exactly
White people do.
sure the essence of the
Do
question.
human beings have tails? Do you have a tail?
You know, I have never met anyone with a tail. I'm not exactly sure the essence.
Exactly. But fetuses have tails. Kind of proves that at that phase, they are not a human being. They got tails. Humans don't have tails. We're not dinosaurs. Let me even show you a photo, if I may, okay? Do you truly, in your heart of hearts, truly believe that this is a human being? This,
Without a doubt.
without a doubt,
Yes.
this is a dolphin fetus.
So let me.
Without a doubt, a dolphin fetus is a human being. This is a human fetus. Look how similar they look, but quite different. Dolphin. You just confirmed that a dolphin, in life, you confuse dolphins for human babies often.
Now, for those who saw my thumbnail, you wonder why I put Echo the Dolphin in there. That's why.
So let me
You
ask
go to
you a question.
SeaWorld and you're like, someone's got human babies in that aquarium. Get the human babies out of the aquarium.
Well, you labeled it as a human fetus.
No, I did
That's
not.
dishonest.
No, I did not. I didn't label it as anything.
Let me. But you.
Doesn't say human fetus on there.
Let me ask you a question then. So let's hold up those two pictures again.
Sure.
Is there a moral difference between the dolphin and the baby?
At this stage, no. You
No,
just confirmed that.
Let me ask you: human and a dolphin. Is it okay to kill one, not the other? Is there a difference morally between a human and a dolphin?
No, I don't like to kill dolphins, but when
Do
they're
you
lit,
like to kill babies?
no, I don't. And when they're living,
Charlie, do you eat tuna fish? That's not albacore.
I certainly am not in favor
Wait,
of killing
so
either, but obviously I protect the human
Hold
over
up,
the dolphin.
hold up the human one.
Sure.
Is that not alive?
No, it is not alive.
Well, then, how is it able to have a heartbeat?
It's attached to an alive being called a woman.
Wait,
who
so
is the
it
mother.
doesn't have a heartbeat, does it?
No, it doesn't have a true
Oh,
heartbeat.
oh, yes, it does.
At some point it does.
22 days after conception, the child's heart begins to circulate, not alive.
That is also disputed science and not
After
correct.
6 weeks, the child's eyes and eyelids, nose and mouth and tongue have formed, not
No,
alive.
it is not a heartbeat at 22 weeks.
So wait, hold on. It's either dead or alive. Which one is it?
That is not true. It is becoming.
Pick one.
It's dead.
That's a great song, by the way.
It is not alive. It is not alive.
So you were once dead.
You
before
define
were
life
alive?
as distinct. It's not distinct. It's attached
It's
to
totally
somebody
distinct.
feeding it. Distinct means on its own.
No,
Is it not
doesn't.
attached to
That's-
its mother?
That's a different. That's autonomous. not
Distinct is.
I would have loved to ask. You know what you should have asked Charlie while you were in the womb? Since you say you were alive, tell me what you saw. That'd have been a hell of a question.
The same.
Distinct means it has its own DNA, its own composition.
That's the definition of the word distinct, is its own DNA and composition.
Well, that's the
Incorrect.
So it is unique.
So is sperm, and so is eggs, and so is...
Eeyore, and of course you have the name of the jackass in Winnie the Pooh. The man was totally wrong, but I know you got here late. If a fetus was life, let me go put a fetus in around human beings and see how they act. But you're gonna tell me that's life, right? Huh. Okay.
Everything. Dolphins are unique. Doesn't mean you can or can't kill
Let
them
me
and
ask
put them
you
in
a question.
aquariums.
There's 1 million abortions every single year. Do you think that's too many or not enough?
I think it's whatever the mother decides with her own family is the right move for their life, and it's none of our damn business.
So if a mother murders an 18-month-old, is that okay?
Oh, Jesus Christ. You see what he's doing? What? Who is going to accept a woman killing a 1.5-year-old baby? What? I tell you, he dumb. He dumb.
Human being. It's an autonomous
So it becomes a human being the moment it comes out of the womb.
Right. When
So
it
what
can
do you say about how
breathe.
the youngest pregnancy ever done, 22 weeks and 1 day, that baby is now 1 year old? Was that not a human being when it was delivered by C-section?
I don't follow. Say it again.
So last year, the youngest ever human being on record was delivered at 22 weeks and 1 day.
Didn't they have to take the baby out because something happened to the mother or the baby? Nobody. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That baby is now 1 year old since the time of that birth.
This is now a living baby, you're correct.
That's okay. So as soon as it comes out of the womb,
Yes, I know your name is Eeyore. You want to show everybody you're a jackass. It's okay. We're letting you stay, aren't you? We like Piglet and Tigger. Winnie the Pooh looks way different in our eyes now that they went and horrorized him. It's okay. We know you like to sniff Christopher Robin. It's okay, sir. We're fine. We're still letting you live.
it is living.
That is correct. If it's alive when it comes out of the womb, we don't know. Right? A lot of babies die at childbirth. That's why you don't know.
Well, not a lot of babies die at
Yeah,
childbirth.
a lot.
Very, very
a
low
lot.
percentage.
Can someone Google that for me, please? Can you please Google how many babies die at childbirth every year?
We have some of the lowest childbirth mortality rates in the
No,
world,
we
thankfully.
no, we do
Stall
not.
them
We have
out.
the highest. We have some of the highest. United States infant mortality rate places us 16th among the nations of the world.
Stall him out.
Millions of infants die each year given inadequate medical care that you often vote against and don't support.
I'm not an elected official.
You support things and you have the influence of millions. You don't have a vote? Are you suppressing?
Good. Go back to the forest if we crazy. Go back. It's okay. I'm sure you can get into an adventure. Have fun. You waiting for that white kid to come back so y'all can get into some shit. Cool. Bye.
Your own vote now too, or just others?
Are you saying that I vote in Congress?
I'm saying that you vote in elections and you decide who goes to Congress. Do you not? And do you not support bills or not support bills based on your massive influence?
I know
think
you're
you do.
getting really worked up.
No, I'm not.
So let me ask you a question.
Also, we rank.
He made a salient point. You vote for these people that y'all are having debates on the subject about. The fuck? And we have seen Charlie on many a time quote motherfuckers that sound like him. But okay.
33 out of 36 in the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development Nations, OECD.
This nigga said, what, handstand? Oh, Lord. Okay, yeah, I've got white walls. But I tell you, you would think being around all them trees and that pure oxygen, he'd actually say something smart. Because his brain would be thinking better. But again, a jackass is only what it is. It is a retarded horse. We understand. Okay.
Nations ranked by U.S. News and World Report for prenatal and early childhood care that you often do not support. In fact, recently, when Biden suggested just $225 billion to support children more in the early years of
I get it, though. He feeling himself because he found out the Japanese actually eat donkey meat, so he feeling himself. Yeah, we understand. We got it.
lives. You went against it and said, oh, capping it while theoretically you paid empty lip service to it and said, well, theoretically it's a good idea. $225 billion is so expensive, and it caps the amount they can spend on their children at 7% of income a year, and by doing that, there's no incentives then for them to seek cost-effective care. When you have no problem with Donald Trump spending $8 trillion, giving trillions and trillions of tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires, and raising the national debt to $27 trillion. No issue with that. But helping the kids that you care about so much, the babies you care about so much, that you want to force women to give birth to them, and then they can go themselves once they're born because you don't give a shit.
He cussing. Where we at? 27 minutes in. He cussing. Let's get it.
And you vote against it constantly. Bravo! What a hill to die on.
I have no idea what the heck you're talking
You
about.
don't? Well, you've been on the record about it. So that's pretty incredible. You don't know what I'm talking
Find
about.
one of your notepads.
I got a lot of cards.
Let's talk about the Holocaust.
That's actually papers, though, but I like how you said cards.
Country. So,
For the Holocaust, again, you're going to have a problem with me because...
Yes, Razor is still a major issue because the right hates women and the left hates women.
my family died of that,
then
remember?
let's dive right into that. So there's a Holocaust happening in our country of 1 million abortions a year of our
That's
fellow
your words.
countrymen
That's your
being
offensive
slaughtered.
words.
So the Holocaust that's occurring, administered by Planned Parenthood, has a disproportionate impact in the black community.
Wait, why is it a Holocaust and not a genocide? I see what he's doing and he think he's slick. He's trying to rile up this Jewish man because he keeps saying Holocaust, even though he tried that earlier and the Jewish man's like, listen, you can call it whatever you want. I don't believe that. I see what you're doing, Charlie. It didn't work, but you tried it.
In Texas, 70% of all abortions are minorities and 37% of all abortions are blacks. Why are you okay with that?
Why are you okay with dictating what the black community should do? Now,
I ain't giving this Jewish man no praise, but I like that he said that.
You okay with that?
why are you okay with dictating what the black community should do? Now, Charlie Kirk should just...
Now you know why them jokes over there on the right don't want to ever show this debate. That kills 66% of the grift.
decide what the black community does?
Actually, I want more black people. Do you want less?
You
or more
should
black
tell
people?
them...
Now you hear Charlie try to sound like a liberal?
Now Charlie Kirk should decide what the black community does?
Actually, I want more black people. Do you want less?
Why not? Why not have more black people? You'll have more content. Why not? But here, Charlie, you also forgot this. When you have more black people, you white people get less power. Do you want that?
You should tell them how many babies they should have?
I want to protect all black babies.
Except with funding.
So here's the
Except
record.
with helping them have easier
You
lives.
want less
or
black
helping
children?
lift.
I want more black children.
No,
that
no,
would
no.
be a
No.
racist position.
Oh, no, you're the racist position.
Again, this was in 2021. And up till when Tyler Robinson did what he did he not have racist positions against black people? Hypocrisy, thy name is neck twerk.
I want the exact number of black children that the black communities decide that they want and black mothers decide they want to give birth to, and not force them to do so, and especially not force them to do so and then not provide any of the funding necessary to lift them up out of oftentimes poverty situations. Oftentimes you are forcing people to not only then give birth to babies they don't want, but then you're sliding them further into poverty. It costs about $1 million over the course of a lifetime of a child to raise a child. And it's easy for you to say you're a trust fund baby who was born rich. It's easy for you.
Jesus. Okay, trust fund baby.
You to say when you've never had to struggle for money. These people are born in difficult circumstances. They get pregnant accidentally or at the hands of an abuser, the hands of a rapist, the hands of...
Well, damn. I mean, now he just trying to tell our whole story. That ain't happened to me, but all right. He going by stereotypes. The white man slipping back into that anti-black bullshit. We know it's there. We were just waiting for the point where he was going to say it. Because according to him, most of us were born out of grape and accidents. Okay. All right. Got it.
Of a mistake when they were 16. Maybe it's their third child and their husband and them had sex and accidentally got pregnant, and you're forcing them to have it and sticking them further and further in poverty with no effort and no funding to help lift them out of that. But you care so much about babies that you think are dolphins.
So what percentage of abortions are rape? That are attributed to rape?
Do you not think rape exists?
I do. What percentage of abortions are attributed to
I
rape?
don't know, but any of them is too many.
Since you're a subject
Any
matter expert,
any pregnancy due to
what
rape is
percentage
too
of
many.
abortions are attributable to rape?
I don't know the answer to that.
What is
But
the number one reason given for abortion in America?
Do you know that 1 in 4?
Answer the question.
The number one reason given for
Abortion.
is they are not ready to have a child.
So
And they can't do it.
So you're okay. I just want to make sure the moral position.
Uh-huh.
Not a child unless it's born, even though it can feel, even though it can breathe, even though it has a heartbeat,
Can't
has
feel and
eyelids.
can't breathe.
No, we already went through this. All
We
right.
did.
So
Can't feel and can't
you're
breathe.
entitled to your own opinion, not to your own facts.
Correct. You too.
You are taking the anti-science position.
No.
That from as early as 12 weeks and certainly by 20 weeks, an unborn child can feel pain. And by 10 weeks after conception, the child can make bodily movements. Electrical brain activity could be detected to 6 or 7 weeks.
I've never denied they are not growing into becoming human beings.
But what percentage of abortions do you think are attributable when people say, I got it because I was raped? What percentage?
I bet it's a pretty low percentage.
Yes, less than 1%.
Yes, but that's 1 out of 100.
So most are abortions out of convenience.
But convenience is a word you use to frame it as somebody being irresponsible. Not being ready to bring a child into this world is not convenience, it's smart family planning that you are against. You're against planning parenthood. You're for forced parenthood.
Let me ask you a question.
You're not for life, you're for forced birth.
The rape question aside.
Well, why the rape question aside?
Because it's such a small
No,
percentage.
but you keep taking these slices that you don't want to deal with and throwing them away.
Since you did some images, let me ask you
one second. So when a child is born or when a child's going to be born and risk the life of the mother, you say that's so rare it doesn't count. When someone is raped, that's so rare it doesn't count. 1 in 100 times though happens.
Well,
so
it certainly
why,
counts. I'm
why
just
do
asking.
why do you not push for legislation that has exceptions for rape and incest? Why?
Well, because it's just equal to human life, and I'll prove it to you. So
It's equal to human life?
So which one of these, I have 2 pictures.
Yep.
One of these babies was conceived in rape.
Uh-huh.
One of these babies was conceived in a consensual relationship.
Uh-huh.
Which one's which?
You know why obviously I don't know the answer to that?
Because they're both human beings.
No, because I wasn't involved in the traumatic life experience of the mother that one of them resulted in rape and one didn't.
So one of these
and
babies...
every time you speak... Speak about abortion, you always skip over the mother who gives life to that baby and raises and gestates that baby.
Which one of these babies was formed in a consensual relationship or
Okay,
not?
let me make sure I understand the question here. Let me make sure I understand the question. Your question is, which one of these babies was born in a consensual relationship, and which one was born over the incredibly traumatic, mind-numbing, horrible, horrific experience of having to carry to term the child of your rapist, of your daughter watching at home's rapist that he wants to force. Anybody have a pro-birth, forced birth opinion will make you carry to term and be the mother of a rapist baby.
You can't tell the difference.
Be cast out of your social
because they're both human beings that deserve to be able to live.
And you skip over the care and the trauma of the human being of the mother.
Let's talk about the care.
Why do you not care about the mother?
I do care about the mother. I care about the mother so much
0% you care about the mother.
I want to talk about this. So let's talk about adoption. How many families
I handle my cards pretty good.
How many families do you think are waiting for children right now to adopt in America?
Charlie, you're aware that there are far more
ballpark.
There are far more babies in foster homes and in the foster program and in orphanages.
Just take a guess.
There's not enough.
Guess.
There's not enough.
Guess.
Guess what?
How many families are waiting to adopt right now in America on waiting lists?
I don't know the answer.
Just guess a little bit.
1 million.
2 million.
Okay. And
how many abortions are there every single year?
Your point is what?
Yes.
Your point is what?
Just take a guess.
Your point is what? Let's say it's exactly 2 million. I bet it's
1 million.
Got you. Okay,
so there's twice as many families waiting to adopt.
Okay, asshole. Maybe them people can't have kids, you asshole. Maybe they're old, you asshole. This guy, I don't know, fam. Them kids were put in the foster system because of crime. They've been put in the foster system because the parents are gone and there's nobody to take care of them. Those kids were put in the foster system because they might have been born in prison. There's a myriad of reasons. How are you trying to equate abortion to the foster system? I want to hear the rationale. I want to hear it.
You terminate children
and
every
you're
single
aware
year.
there are also children who are in the adoptive care system that cannot get adopted, right? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, why do you think they're in the adoptive care system and the foster care system?
Because a lot of people are forced through restrictive abortion laws that people like you force on people who don't care.
Red tape. So we should make it easier to adopt. Do you agree?
Sure.
Okay, so we agree. So therefore, if we get rid of abortion, we have enough families waiting to adopt.
Oh my God, because it's that easy. So you're telling people that, hey, abortion is illegal now. Go adopt somebody else's kid. Because you think just bringing somebody new into your home, they're just going to assimilate to the bullshit. Boy, I swear to Christ. So people that have their kids, because now you're going to force them to have kids, and you're going to tell them, okay, now there's less red tape. You can go abort. You can not now abort, and now you can go pick somebody else's kid up and go through that whole process, thousands of dollars, which takes away resources from the kids that you have already to bring somebody else in there and have to go recoup all those resources and still take care of your regular seeds. And who gonna pay for that? Oh, let me guess. When they can't do it, then they're gonna be a failure as a parent, right?
And every child will be taken care of.
And yet again,
we have solved the abortion issue, everybody, and Ben agrees.
No, because
enough families to adopt.
No.
All the abortions would go away, and everyone gets a loving parent. And Ben would have to go back to obsessing about sperm.
Look how well you again skipped right over the mother. You refuse to talk about the mother or the experience of giving birth because you don't know what it's like. Nor do I.
No, because he hates women. That's the reason why. He hates women.
You skipped right over it. So
take
your
rape
argument
aside.
is, let's make everyone who's raped, force them to have a baby, go through that trauma, and then the trauma of giving up the baby for adoption, just so people can have a baby that don't currently have one. How about also not traumatizing women and respecting the autonomy of women? Why is it that you are in favor of limited government in every way, as small of government as possible, except in the uterus of women?
So if it's
You're
not your DNA,
you're against
why is it your
government
choice?
overreach, but not government inner
it's
reach.
not your
You
DNA.
like government reaching in a uterus and deciding for a woman what it does.
Hilariously, that's you, because you want to put the abortionist in the uterus.
No,
by
I want to respect women's choices to make the decision best for them and their lives.
What I want is to make it illegal for abortionists and the abortion industry to continue to massacre and create a genocide and Holocaust.
Killing all the dolphins. The dolphin Holocaust must end. You're right. We have to
stop eating tuna
That's
fish.
Charlie Kirk's point, everybody.
See,
he's
Ben,
obsessed with
he
women's
equates
uteruses, and he
dolphins
wants to kill as
with
many
human
dolphins as possible.
So, Ben, let me ask you a question.
Freakishly obsessed with women's bodies, telling them what they can and can't do, making them give birth, even if they're raped.
So, Ben, let me ask you a
Or it might kill
question.
them, and he wants to make sure that
Let me
dolphins
ask you a question.
we stop the dolphin genocide.
Let me ask you a question. Is abortion ever wrong?
Is abortion ever wrong? You need to be more specific. I don't know what that means.
Is abortion ever wrong?
I don't know what you mean by that.
Is it ever wrong to conduct an abortion or facilitate an abortion?
I think...
Didn't y'all just talk about if the mother's life was in danger? That's acceptable? Didn't he just say that with them doctors? Maybe I got it wrong. But okay.
My, again, personal opinion, if it is towards the end of a term and a child is viable, a potential child is viable on its own outside of the womb, and it's not for some serious abnormality that would make the child very likely to not survive long in life or to risk the life of the mother, I think that would be a pretty wrong thing to do. That's my opinion.
Why shouldn't the laws reflect that then?
I'm okay personally with the laws reflecting that.
You what?
I'm okay personally with the laws
preventing
reflecting that.
late-term abortion.
I'm okay personally, but again, I'm not a woman, so I'm speaking kind of out of turn here, but I personally don't love the idea of a late-term abortion. But you're against
news.
abortion anyway.
That's correct, yeah, but I'm just... that's actually news. I didn't realize that was your position.
That's my personal opinion.
But then, like, at what week would you draw that? Because then...
Like I said,
why is he still talking about fucking
is
weeks?
likely to be viable outside of the womb
So
on
let's
its
say
own.
the third trimester then.
For me personally, I'm personally okay with that. But there are instances, like I said, when that needs to be done. And did you know, since you love throwing stats at me, that less than 1% of cases is it a third trimester abortion, and those cases are almost always when it is the life of the mother or serious abnormalities that the child would not survive.
So if it's
in
less
which
than,
case I'm not against
if
it.
it's less than 1%, then we should be able to abolish it. And now the Texas law, which you have been a big critic of,
Yes.
is at 6 weeks. 6 weeks, which we've already stated the facts. At 6 weeks, the child's eyes, eyelids, nose, mouth, and tongue are formed. That sounds like a human being, not a dolphin.
No, the shape of them. They're still webbed. They're still sitting there. I don't know how boring your life has been.
So let me
but
ask
Oh,
life
damn.
is not this, sitting in jail, floating. That's not life. Life's out in the
So
world.
let me ask you a question.
Life's out in the world.
Over
Maybe this is
500
why you go home and you just chill at home like,
Over 500
Oh my God. How will you let this man roast your home life now? Come on, son. Fight back. Never mind. It was a fucked up joke there, but the Most High corrected me again and told me don't say it.
100,000 people are currently hooked up to a machine and comatose. According to you, being a webbed person or being somewhat non-human is okay. Should we just pull the plug of all of them?
No, because developed living human beings are different than ones by your own terms are not living. Let me quote you yet again. You said on your YouTube, quote, Planned Parenthood conducts 300,000 abortions a year.
Yes.
That is
300,000
300,000
murders.
And then the second part of the sentence, that is 300,000 lives that never had a chance to exist. By your own words.
You know what I mean by
No,
that.
I don't.
Fully
By your
exist.
own words, you said embryos and fetuses do not exist. It's your words. It never had a chance to exist.
That is a sloppy,
No,
dishonest,
it's a perfect argument.
low IQ argument.
You
So
think
let me
that
get on to that.
Don't you just love it when them right wingers find out people use their words and show them the hypocrisy of what they're saying? Now, Kelly, you know what you just said was fucked up. You wrote doesn't. That would imply he's still among us. You were supposed to write didn't. Didn't is past tense.
Thousand lives that never had a chance. Never had a chance to exist.
Get on to that. To be able to fully exist like you and I have.
The
You know
phase.
that's
No, that's
dishonest.
not true, sir.
You know that's
Charlie,
more like
the
you.
phase that
You know that's sloppy. So let me ask you a question.
I'm speaking of the phase that you think is
Let
the
me ask
same as
you-
a dolphin.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
you are saying that I can't tell if it's a dolphin or not, but I must protect it. But then you also say a fetus does not exist, never has a chance to exist. It has not lived yet. You're 27, not 28. You said it yourself.
Let me continue on
But for
with
your
that
28th
argument.
birthday, I will take you to SeaWorld and we can look at the dolphins. And
Damn.
I have another 9 months onto my
Please
birthday,
do
which
that.
is a really bizarre argument. But
An
let's
amazing argument.
let's-
You know,
let's say
you're
we
changing
take
your
it.
birthday for it.
let's say you were right.
Thank you.
So for a second,
We
do you
just
ever
decided it. I'm
for,
right.
for a second,
And that's the
do you
debate.
ever doubt that 62 million abortions is something that we should be worried about, something that's wrong with that? Let's just use the racial thing, which you tend to always try to incite. All the black babies that were never born, all this.
All right, you motherfuckers. Y'all just going off right now. All right, motherfuckers. All right, I got something for y'all. Since y'all want to go off, I see y'all in the chat. Y'all not paying attention. Okay, we gonna get y'all right. We gonna get y'all right. Y'all on this Erica and JD so much. Okay, yes. They right now are doing Akinyele, put it in your mouth. We know. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. They found each other through crisis. She wants to just be eaten out. We understand. JD forgot what a whole that only had 2 kids come out feel because he got 3. We know.
Hispanic babies that were never born. Does that ever bother you?
Does it ever bother you that you still, despite me making this point already, are trying to dictate for these communities of color what they
Let me
should
be
do
very
with their
clear.
families,
Let me-
and then once you force them to have this baby, you don't help them at all?
Okay, let's talk. We'll talk about both. Number one,
Sure.
I will, with every ounce of my being, intervene to dictate that babies are allowed to live. You seem indifferent to that, and
No, you were
jokingly
okay with
compare babies and dolphins. That's fine. That's okay.
You compared them.
And
You
so,
said they were 100%
because
human life.
You dishonestly put up both
No,
cultures. That's
I
fine.
proved a point perfectly.
I would expect the same from, a B-rate comment
You did the
like
same kind.
But
You're a
let me-
B-rate commentator. You did the
let me-
same exact thing
Let
with
me,
your
let me
photos.
continue by saying, which you couldn't
You
tell
did
the
the
difference
same thing with your photos.
You couldn't tell the difference between a human being conceived in rape
yes,
or in a consensual
that proves
relationship.
my point better,
So
Charlie.
let me ask a question.
I couldn't tell the difference because
And so,
exactly
let me
fetuses
ask
are
you a
not
question.
distinct special beings until they are born.
Let me ask you a
That's
question.
why you can't tell the difference between
If it's
rape
not your
fetuses
DNA,
and consensual fetuses or dolphin fetuses or human fetuses.
If it's not your
you
DNA,
proved my point twice.
If it's not your DNA, why should it be your choice?
Exactly. It's not your DNA, so why are you choosing for these women?
It's not the DNA of the baby, then.
No, it is half the DNA of the mother and half of the father.
So should the father have a say?
I think the father should be able to consult with the mother if the mother so chooses.
Should the father override an abortion?
You just said, Charlie, of course not, he should not be able to override it. It's the mother's choice. She's
I thought you said
carrying
it's
the
half
baby.
the father.
It's half his DNA, so he should be consulted. That would be nice.
Most states it's illegal. It's not legal to do it.
It's not legal to consult a father? Of course
you
it's
don't
legal.
have to consult it by law.
Fine, because it's the woman carrying
if it's not
it.
your
But you
DNA,
just said if it's not your DNA, you shouldn't have a say.
That's right. So the mother and the father, it's not their DNA anymore.
So why do
DNA
you have a
anymore.
say in babies of which you have none of the DNA?
I tell you, the right wingers just be dropping into them pitfalls, boy. Who remember the game Pitfall? You gonna be falling, boy. Exactly. The mother and father should be able to console. Why in the fuck are y'all in there telling them what to do? Screw you. I couldn't go in your house and tell you what to do. You ain't finna come in my bedroom and tell me what to do.
Well, it's like saying,
Why do you have a say
why do we have
in
say
the
in
baby?
murder laws and theft laws, rape laws, and arson laws?
Because those are to protect human beings
which
who
begins
are
at
living.
conception.
In your opinion.
In the opinion of
Because
embryology,
you happen to be an evangelical. You happen to be a Catholic, correct?
not even close.
You're not a Catholic.
Don't you have a card for that?
You're an evangelical Christian. What are you?
Yeah,
Evangelical Christian.
Evangelical Christian.
Okay,
And you're a B-rate comic, right?
and you're a C-rate political hack. What's your?
What the fuck? Why? Listen, right wingers, and this especially goes for Tiny Tranny. The fact that y'all think y'all can go after comedians, that's laughable to me. Like, I watch y'all over there taking shots at comedians. Like, they won't, if they do see it, come after you. They have trained their whole lives to understand that people ain't gonna like everything they say. And they've also trained their whole lives to understand that somebody's gonna try to put a comeback on you and think they won. You better come back quick or you're gonna look crazy. Why did he think calling him a B-rate comedian, which is pretty good? A B-rate comedian could get bit parts and be the best friend in movies. And get on, one of them highly grossing tours as an opening act in certain cities. Why do you think you being a C-rate commentator is better than a B-rate comedian? All right, you got it. Well, I'm sorry. I keep saying that. Charlie don't got it. He had it. He had it.
How did your Netflix
We
show
can
do?
throw names all we like. It was trending on Netflix.
Did you hear that?
For 2 years, and you're a political hack. What's your
How
point?
did your Netflix
We
show
can
do?
throw names all we like. It was trending on Netflix for 2 years. Have you ever been on Netflix? You should go for it.
Oh my God. Oh no. I wonder what the ratings were for that. Netflix is a joke. You know what? Let's check his IMDb one time. He was in Ice Age. What did I tell you? He was in Ice Age, the Book of Life, okay. So he was getting work. I tell you, them right wingers, they be envious of these Hollywood types, boy. Let me look. What was that, 2014 that came out? Yeah, his own TV movie, I guess. I guess nobody cared about that. Neurotic Gangster TV special. Okay. Cinedopes. All right. I don't see this. I don't see this Netflix special. Where is it? It must be this. Netflix is a Joke Festival 2024. Oh, so it was Neurotic Gangster. What was the rating on that? Let me look. 6.8. That's not bad. That's not bad. They gave it a solid 7. They were like, it's okay. It's not bad.
It's one of the top platforms out there in the
I
world.
heard they took it off.
Yeah, they did. After 2 years, they took it off. Great point. You ever been on Netflix?
I wouldn't
I
want
also
it.
got a show dropping on Disney Plus soon, so please check that out.
My goodness, they couldn't pay me to be on that awful platform.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, okay.
You're in the family.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. The awful platform. Yeah, okay, dude.
Well,
Yeah, they did. After 2 years, they took it off. Great point. You're done Netflix?
I wouldn't
I
want
also
it.
got a show dropping on Disney Plus soon, so please check that out.
My goodness, they couldn't pay me to be on that awful platform.
Yeah, no, I would not have you on a family-friendly platform, that's for sure. With your obsession with women's uteruses, they probably strongly make sure that doesn't happen.
I want to see
But
as many babies live as possible.
your religious beliefs inform your opinions on abortion. Yes. But
However,
mine
I
inform mine.
haven't made one religious argument this entire time.
Sure.
Yes, you
All I'm
did.
saying is you keep saying that life begins at conception. That's an idea you have informed by your religious beliefs.
Then
Judaism says life begins with the first breath.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
That is a misinterpretation
And
of text of
Judaism-
Exodus. Let me ask
Judaism
you.
gives preference to the woman, not the unborn fetus.
You want to talk about the Torah?
And that's my religion.
So what does it say in Jeremiah? I knew you before what?
I have no idea.
You were in the womb.
Uh-huh.
What does it say in Leviticus about unborn
Oh,
children?
wow, somebody wrote that I knew you before you were in the room?
Yes, somebody
Listen.
called Jeremiah, a minor character in the Bible.
The Bible's beautiful, but it's allegories. So if you're going to take the specific words and say it's some kind of scientific book, it's not a scientific book. It's a good moral
It's
guide,
the word of God. Ben.
in your opinion.
God is not science, you retard. Oh, Lord. We're going to do this again. Christians, the last time y'all tried to play with them scientists on that, it didn't work. That's why you don't see them do it anymore. I would stop. Leave religion where it is. When y'all try to give out degrees for the Bible, y'all know y'all fucked up. But okay.
But you can't enforce your religious opinion on the world. That's why we,
Well,
on the
I'm
country
not. I've
especially.
been making secular arguments.
Sure.
So I'm just asking, as someone who says you were offended by the Holocaust, where millions of Jews were killed, why are you seemingly indifferent with the millions of Americans that are being killed?
Because they're not Americans. You have to be born on U.S. soil to be an American. That proves my point.
No,
Thank you.
human beings.
The definition of an American is being born on U.S. soil. Born.
So
Born or naturalized.
let me
so
ask
no
you-
Americans are killed every year
Let me ask
through
you a
abortion.
question.
Thank you. Another point.
The Black
in
Panthers.
my column. Love
the
it.
Black Panthers said, which I disagree with.
Why are you bringing black people into this? Now he's going to say something racist. Let's go. Let's have fun.
Another point.
The Black
in
Panthers.
my column. Love
The
it.
Black Panthers said, which I disagree with the Black Panthers on a lot, but they said that abortion is a black genocide on the community.
Good for them.
Are they wrong?
Yeah, they're of course wrong. I've been arguing this whole time. It is not a genocide. Genocides are genocides, and genocides take place of humans, not of undeveloped,
But again,
still developing fetuses that will become humans.
but
what do you think are dolphins?
What species is a fetus on the animal kingdom hierarchy?
It is
Homo sapien or no?
But you just said dolphins have fetuses. Oh, no. He just said it. Oh, no.
is a part of a woman human being
No,
that
no.
is growing.
What species
Is a,
A
woman?
fetus.
A woman is a human being.
a fetus? What species is it?
It will become a Homo sapien
So it's not current. When does
Correct.
that species change?
at birth. How hard is this
So
concept?
wait.
we
So
keep
hold on a
saying
second.
birth.
So you're making an argument
Yeah.
that all of a sudden the baby goes through metamorphosis of a species change? That's a unique and very bizarre.
Oh no, I
argument.
never said species change. I said it's becoming a full, living, breathing.
So,
Homo
but what is it
sapien
before?
when
So,
birth
what
happens.
species is a fetus? You got to organize it somewhere in the animal kingdom. Where is it? What is it?
Homo sapien
Oh, so
parts.
it's a human.
Homo sapien part.
You just said
Homo
no.
sapien. Oh, no. 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 Sir, can a fetus use complex tools? And does it have a high level of intelligence? Oh, no. Somebody, if he was still alive, I would tell Charlie to go read X-Men comics, especially when Magneto does one of his soliloquies about the human race. Oh, no. Oh, my God. literally, you could Google this. Literally. Literally could.
Oh, and what species is sperm?
It's
what
neither,
species is
it's
egg?
neither human nor anything.
What species is the egg from a
It's
woman?
an undeveloped part of a male or
Exactly.
undeveloped part of a female.
And a fetus is an undeveloped baby.
No, it's very much developed.
No, it's not. It's developing the whole time until birth. That's the whole process.
New DNA is formed.
New DNA is formed the whole time up until birth.
No. The new DNA is formed right at that moment.
No.
Yes, it is. The new DNA is the sperm and egg meet. That's called conception.
Yep.
And the science of embryology say that is a human life.
Yep. And each
that
egg that drops is
protection.
unique DNA in that egg, and there's unique DNA in the millions and millions of sperm that goes and fertilizes that egg.
And we said, what happens to an unfertilized egg?
The sperm dies, and what happens to a pregnancy that doesn't go to term? It dies. Your point is what?
That it's a human life.
No.
That it develops.
Well, you didn't prove that point. You just jumped to that.
Uninterrupted from an abortionist intervention.
No, there's miscarriages all the time.
Of course, that doesn't make it not a lie.
So when a miscarriage happens, is
That's
the
a
woman
life
a
that should be
murderer?
grieved.
Is a woman a murderer?
Of course not. That happens through and many different sorts. There could be chemical pregnancies.
Honest
but
question.
that is a life.
Honest question. Do you have any friends who've ever had an abortion?
Yes.
Okay.
And I grieve for them.
You grieve for them.
Why are you
Because
still
it was
friends
taken
with them?
advantage of by people like you and the abortion industry.
Right, they were taking advantage of. That's how they feel.
That's how I feel. Many of them, by the way, if you want to talk about the mental health cost that women have after an abortion, I'm happy to talk about how most women regret having abortions, about how they have psychological damage, social damage, spiritual damage, that they wish they could take it back.
That is a BS talking point.
No, it's actually a scientific fact that abortion is actually terrible for the women, for the woman.
No. Unsafe abortion is terrible. Abortions are very, very safe and are very healthy to do. And in fact, for any woman watching this that is being forced to not consider an abortion as an option if they are not ready to have a child because maybe their husband or their partner or their parents are not allowing them to do so, please know you can get pills online from other countries, even if you have to, that can do a safe, painless, easy, at-home abortion, and you will not have to deal with any problems health-wise, and you're going to be all good. So know that option is out there for you.
I got to be honest.
Please keep that in
Your
mind.
ease of which advocating murder scares me.
You keep saying murder, and you also think fetuses are dolphins, so you don't ever take in a point that you already lost and address your
let me be
opinion,
clear.
which is
Your main argument you keep on resorting back to is you have two pictures of a human being and a dolphin that look similar, and you think as if that's some sort of
your own words is that embryos haven't had a chance to exist yet, that fetuses haven't existed yet. Your own
existed
words.
the way you and I have. Yes.
Right.
So now
Right.
you are
In the world,
workshopping
alive.
something I said on a radio show and YouTube channel.
No,
Got it.
alive. Your
Okay.
own YouTube channel.
So
Your own YouTube channel.
let me ask you a question here, which is, what is a human being?
A living, breathing, out in the world entity. Let me ask you a question. What is a mother? The thing you keep not wanting to talk about.
A mother is a woman who has a sperm and egg fertilized, and human life has begun.
And does she have autonomy to make her own decisions? Do you think she's a full human being?
Well, this is where you stepped in it.
You think
If it's not her DNA, it's not her choice. That's a moral argument.
It is her DNA.
No. It's not. New
And it's
DNA
her
is
body.
formed.
And it's her body.
It's not her DNA. It's new DNA has formed of a new being, and as soon as that new being is created, she does not have, in my opinion, the legal. Well, she currently has the legal authority in some states.
Correct. Legal authority and constitutionally protected authority. You like the Constitution, don't you? You care about it?
Where in the Constitution does it protect abortion?
The 14th Amendment and the 5th Amendment.
What does the 14th Amendment say?
The 14th Amendment.
Where does it say the word abortion?
It protects your liberty.
Where does it say the word
And there
abortion?
cannot be infringements in the due process clause to your liberty and to your right to privacy.
So let me ask you a
and the
question.
government should not go into your body. Why are there no rules or laws that affect a man's body? What if we said, here's how we're going to reduce abortion, Charlie, is every man, including you, Charlie Kirk, newly married, has to get a vasectomy. It can be reversed when you're ready to have a baby. Would you be okay with it?
No, because it doesn't involve a certain human life. Let me ask you a question.
What do you mean? No, it does, because you're saying men are not responsible.
Vasectomy involves your sperm, you dickhead. He got caught again. He got caught again. He got caught again. So it's cool to legislate a woman's body, but then when it comes to you men's and he talking about vasectomies, now you got a problem with it. Vasectomy is supposed to stop your sperm from going into a woman, correct? Oh, you don't like that. He said it.
We said, here's how we're going to reduce abortion, Charlie, is every man, including you, Charlie Kirk, newly married, has to get a vasectomy. It can be reversed when you're ready to have a baby. Would you be okay with it?
No, because it doesn't involve a certain human life. Let me ask you a
What
question.
What do you mean it doesn't involve certain
Because-
human life? It involves all human life. If they sat up there and said everybody got to get an abortion, that's a male. I mean, abortion. I'm sorry, a vasectomy, that's a male. That does affect all human life. What are you talking about? Especially for the passport bros, they'd be pissed. Some would be happy, most would be pissed.
You're saying men are not responsible at all for unwanted pregnancies.
So you believe women?
You're saying men are not responsible at all for unwanted pregnancies.
Hold on, I don't
Are you
understand
not?
where
That's a
you're going with this
question.
argument. Say that again?
Are men responsible at all for unwanted pregnancies, or is it just a woman's fault?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Right.
Probably. I told you the right wing hate women. I told you.
Also enforce something on them then? If it's such an epidemic, do you call it genocide?
No, because you have a new being that is created. So we should allow women
So
to
women
make
are just
decisions.
empty vessels then?
So men should not be involved in making decisions for women's health care, right?
Correct.
So then you think Roe versus Wade is a mistake because it was 7 men that made that decision. So we should repeal
That doesn't
Roe
make
versus
any
Wade.
sense because
all
unlike you...
men shouldn't dare make
No,
decisions for women.
No.
You
Because
advocate
unlike
for the
you...
repealing of Roe versus Wade.
No.
Let it be on the record,
No.
everybody.
Again...
7 men made a decision that
There's
was terrible
7
for women.
empathetic men that don't have...
Oh, I thought you said we shouldn't make decisions
No.
for women.
Shouldn't.
7 men, everybody.
Except obviously
repeal Roe
the
versus
Supreme
Wade.
Court, who we have empowered to make such
I thought we
decisions.
should trust women.
You just scoffed at laws a second ago, but you seem to be a man of law typically, and so typically...
So what's the law that
abortions-
protects abortion? What was
Well, by the way, Charlie, since you forgot, this will happen a couple years later. They knocked down Roe v. Wade and women were involved. Now what?
was it passed by Congress?
Okay, once again, let me finish my
Name
point
the
here.
statute.
Let me finish my point here. You see,
It never
unlike
happened.
you, those 7 men on the Supreme Court were able to have empathy and realize they don't know what a woman goes through to give birth and how it affects every part of their life going forward, and so they realized that the government, something you're typically in favor of, small, limited government, not infringing on people's liberties or lives, should...
And how much in a few years changed? You were sitting there praising Doge.
not
boring.
infringe...
So the
Also, I
clerk,
can just say 2A, then Second Amendment is incorrectly. We can do any regulation on
you guys
guns.
say that all the time. So the clerk for
And the
Justice
point is what?
Blackmun
It's a good
said that
point.
Roe versus Wade is intellectually suspect, the most intellectually suspect constitutional decision
Who
of the
said this?
modern era. The clerk for Justice Blackmun, who wrote the opinion
Uh-huh.
for Roe versus Wade, the
Yeah.
7-2 decision that allowed 62 million
The
abortions.
dissenting opinion.
No, Justice Blackmun was the majority opinion. This is
Okay.
the clerk for Justice Blackmun,
Uh-huh.
who said it was one of the most intellectually suspect constitutional decisions of the modern era. When did Congress ever
Great,
say
and
that
my
abortion was a
assistant
right?
one time said I was an asshole. That doesn't make it what kind of
No,
point is
hold
that?
on a second. Do we make law through Congress or through a decision of the courts?
Can we make law through Congress or a decision of the courts?
Yes.
Congress makes law,
So-
and the courts decide
so-
whether to uphold it or not.
When did Congress ever make a law on abortion?
What?
Congress never made a law also outlawing abortion.
No, but
they
when
saw
did they
a
ever
case.
legalize it?
Both ways, Charlie. When did they ever make it not legal?
Actually, a lot of states had abortion bans.
States.
Jesus fucking Christ. And he still don't get that. Both sides take they take both sides of the argument. He still don't get it. He bringing up states, and you just talked about Congress. Congress is federal, sir. Why are you bringing up states? Jesus Christ, I tell you this. Oh, God. Oh, man, I don't know. I don't know.
It's
Bill.
not the federal government.
Well, so what does the 10th Amendment say then?
What does the 10th Amendment
It
say?
says that anything not delegated to Congress will be left to the states and the people.
But this was decided.
Yeah, by a group of unelected 7 men who you say
Oh.
shouldn't make decisions.
Oh, okay.
Right? We have to
No, I never
trust
said that.
women
I never said
that
that.
overturn
No, I never said they don't get to
states
decide things for
that
the
have their
country.
own independent abortion bans.
You're obviously twisting my words
hold on
very
a second.
strongly there, because obviously
If
the Supreme Court can
Congress-
make decisions for the country.
If there was such a mandate, what's the law that allows abortion? Not Supreme Court decision. What's the law?
Charlie, the Supreme Court decides on court cases, and they decide whether it is constitutional or not. And backed up by the Constitution that you and I both hold so dear,
Right, so
they
there's never been a law.
codified
It's a decision.
into our life. It's a decision, that's correct. And you can't
Right.
you can't scoff at Supreme Court decisions
So it's not a
and
law.
then say that then the Texas law is not a law.
Well, we're hopefully overturn Roe versus
There you go.
Texas law. The point is that it was never
Good for
passed
you.
by Congress.
Great
It
luck
was
trying
never
to
voted
force
on.
women to have babies they don't want,
Hold
not
on.
ready
Let me
rape-
ask you a question.
Babies from rape
So-
and babies from abuse.
so,
great hill to die
rape-
on.
rape
But then
aside,
make sure you don't
1%
rape
of-
aside. What a
1% of all.
sentence.
Let me ask you a
rape
question.
aside women. I'm sorry you have to listen to this. Rape aside.
Statistically, it is less than
1%. So that's
Let me ask you a
millions.
question.
That's millions of
Let me
babies.
ask you a question. How do these other women get pregnant then?
Huh? Can we explain
99%
sex
of-
to you?
Oh,
I can
Jesus.
explain.
Fam. How's Charlie Kirk's staff laughing at him? Bruh. Listen.
You a question.
That's millions of
Let me
babies.
ask you a question. How do these other women get pregnant then?
Huh? Can we explain
99%
sex to
of-
you?
No, I'm
I
asking
can
you.
explain.
How is his whole staff is laughing at him? One more time.
You a question.
That's millions of
Let me
babies.
ask you a question. How do these other women get pregnant then?
Huh? Can we explain sex to you?
No, I'm
I
asking
can
you.
explain sex to you. I know you're newly married.
So they made
Oh, my
a
Lord.
But a man and a
decision.
woman love each other.
They made a decision, and then they want to terminate and murder that child.
Who made a decision?
Because the 1 million people having abortions every single year. So why all of a sudden should
No,
we
they are
be
accidents
okay
oftentimes. They're
with,
not decisions.
with terminating human life
They're not decisions.
because they had a consensual relationship?
God, I hope for you
25%
that you don't
of
accidentally
all
impregnate your
abortions.
wife. That would be really hypocritical if you were put in this
25% of
situation.
all abortions in this country are done out of economic convenience. Do you think that's okay?
Economic convenience is such a stupid, backwards, low IQ phrase for you to use. Economic convenience, what you actually mean is they cannot possibly afford the $1 million it will take to raise a child that you can afford because you were born into privilege. And they weren't, but you're so privileged, you also want to force them to have a baby and then vote against legislation.
What's the average
to help
social
them.
welfare benefits for somebody annually with a child?
What's the number of it?
What's the annual benefit?
I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
$55,000 a year. What's
Uh-huh.
that times 18?
Times 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, roughly.
It's like almost $1 million.
$500,000?
Right around $700,000.
Okay.
Almost just about what it costs.
This motherfucker can't. Fam. It ain't me, right? He said 55,000 a year times 18. That's close to, oh, Jesus Christ. That's close to $900,000. Oh, Lord.
What's that times 18?
Times 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, roughly $500,000?
Right around $700,000.
Okay.
Almost just.
Oh, my God. Fam. And he was debating people? So y'all telling me that motherfucker getting almost $1 million off welfare benefits? You telling me somebody getting $55,000 a year? Okay. All right.
Just about what it costs to raise
I would have said that, but can't do much of. Never mind.
a child.
Uh-huh.
So there's plenty of social welfare benefits in place. $55,000 a year.
Uh-huh.
What's that times 18?
Times 18 years?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, roughly $500,000?
right around $700,000, almost just about what it costs to raise a child. So there's plenty of social welfare benefits in.
All right, you got it.
Place. So don't give me this idea of
No,
economic
because
convenience.
that's assuming every dollar that goes to that
Instead,
child. That assumes every dollar that
here's
goes to
the
that
essence of
child.
it.
You
It
vote
goes through
against
size.
increasing this funding. You vote against paid maternity leave. You push against paid maternity and paternity leave. You push against helping, increasing prenatal care. You push against making sure that there is more support for helping raise these kids.
Let me clarify
You
this.
only want to force people to have babies they don't want, and you don't actually care about it because you've proven time and time again here that you don't even know exactly what a baby is. You've said with your own words that it's not a life until it's born, never had a chance to exist. You only want to do it to get more followers and to be able to keep your followers on a hook, because the anti-choice movement never even used to be an issue conservatives cared about. Pre-Roe v. Wade, it was about segregating schools. That was the big issue that was the conservative movement hung their hat on.
You are
and
all over the place, man.
Once I'm making great.
He's actually not. He's actually showing y'all how y'all like to follow societal trends, and that's why you get your asses kicked all the time. Just like you got your asses kicked on Tuesday, following society bullshit instead of focusing on policy. See how that works?
Points all over the place, you're damn right. And so once the sentiment of the country shifted against that and they lost that hook on people's playing to their fear and emotions, they had to shift to another emotional issue that played on misogyny and racism without being overtly misogynist and racist. So they instead said, let's control women's bodies and therefore help keep communities of color down, help keep women down, and help have men decide, like men like you, decide what's best for women, even though you can't be pregnant, never will be pregnant. And if you ever, your wife, hopefully, I hope for you have the life you want, gets pregnant, you raise a family, you'll have the
Most High was looking out for me again.
means to take care of them. So it's very easy for you to sit on a high horse and say, you gotta also have a baby. Well,
So
good for you. That's real nice since they don't have the money to do so.
Do you actually believe this?
What part?
Brazer, if you think MAGA got the White House, you need to start looking at some of my old lives. I've already shown you who controls the White House, and it's not MAGA. It's actually the Middle East and BRICS, but MAGA will find that out next year, and then they'll get pissed and do content that they never knew about this and how much foreign power is infiltrating in our government thanks to the Jews, because it always goes back to them, but they won't go see the Middle East or BRICS because they know what's going to happen. They're going to have the whole world against them. And this is one thing that MAGA has shown us: when people galvanize and get an army together, they ain't got shit, even though they claim that they're an army.
All these great points, but you haven't been able to disprove any one of them?
Actually, we've gone through plenty of it. And just to recap, age privilege and size privilege. Ben believes just because you're older and bigger, you should be able to terminate human life. He's been unable to pinpoint when human life begins.
No, pre-human life, and I have pinpointed it at birth.
62 million
You think
abortions
humans
since
are
Roe versus
dolphins?
Wade.
You think fetuses are
Human
dolphins?
beings are
Okay.
distinct and whole.
Right.
And the science
You
of
believe-
embryology
you believe babies sound like this.
shows that human beings begin life at conception.
The
human
science
life.
of embryology. No, it doesn't.
You have been
No, it
unable
doesn't.
to pinpoint
No, it
human
doesn't.
beings on the ladder
It's
of
the building
the
block
animal
of life.
kingdom ladder.
It's the building block of life.
900 black babies are killed every single day. Ben is indifferent to that.
No, I want
there are
black people to decide for
36
their own communities what
waiting
they do.
families for every one abortion that happens every
And there's
single
children
year.
that are stuck in the adoptive system forever
In
and can't get
Texas,
adopted. 'Cause not
70%
enough
of all abortions are
people
minorities. And it really goes down to this moral question. And the moral question is whether or not we believe...
And it's 100% fact that a white man killed you. Since we're going to rattle off numbers. It's 100% fact that the white arrest rate on the UCR is going to go up. It's 100% fact that the numbers for mass shootings, when they attribute 2025 into the numbers, is going to go up because of white people. Razor MAGA is going to be done on November 3rd of next year, and that's midterm night. They're going to be done. You don't even have to wait till Trump leaves. Trump right now is going to the center, and he's doing it very slowly because he doesn't want to alarm MAGA. That's why he's giving them chum right now, lying, talking about all this tax revenue that he's bringing in, which is bullshit. He just sat up there yesterday talking about how Walmart is saving people money for Thanksgiving. Same bullshit that Biden was pulling a few years ago with July 4th. But people do the research like me and find out that Walmart's Thanksgiving is actually going to be less items than they usually give. That's why it looks lower. But again, they're going to find out next year that their man sold them out because the Middle East and BRICS are paying more. The GCC is paying more. And he can't stop Sean.
Believe human beings are worthy of protection.
No.
And I believe
you all the time
that
say
all
you don't
human
believe
beings
they are.
believe they are worthy
No,
of
you
protection.
vote all the time against protecting living human beings. You only vote and push
Hold
people
on a second. Let's
to
talk about
protect
this.
the unborn.
So this is a slanderous lie.
No,
I
it's
want
not.
school choice because I care about all human beings. I want more police because I care about all human beings.
Wrong. You want school choice because you want to make sure all white people get into their school so you don't integrate them. I understand people want school choice. I'm fine with that. But we know what the underlying equality is going to be. We know what the equal equation is going to be, the answer to the equation. Now you're going to have local jurisdictions in the state say how many kids can be let in. Y'all want segregation back on the books. Fine. You're going to lose talent, which is going to end up losing you money. But they don't care because the state going to get theirs.
I want strong borders because I care about human beings. It is a lie, and it is insulting to anyone who's pro-life to act as if we are only pro-baby. Everything that we advocate at this organization and over here is about the betterment and the flourishing of humanity, protection of your rights, strong education, the ability to read, the ability to go to school, not have to live in gang-infested neighborhoods.
You do nothing to help
gang-infested neighborhoods.
That is a garbage lie,
Everything that I advocate for is to advocate for the human being.
No, you
From
like
the moment
I wonder if Charlie was also mentioning them cartels in them white neighborhoods. And yes, there are white cartels. Don't let them ever tell you that there's no white cartels. I wonder if that's what he means as well, since he wants to talk about gang-infested neighborhoods. Like your children ain't running around acting like gangs. Oh, okay.
moment of conception to the last gasp and breath.
That is a lie.
This is a
you want to
drive-by
decide
shooting tactic.
what you think will help communities that you don't understand and aren't part of. You think there should be more
Wait,
police.
so the ability to read is something that I'm saying?
Reading is great, but you constantly denigrate the Black Lives Matter movement and the opinions of the black community that tell you what you are telling them and dictating as their white savior what they should want is not in fact the reality they live. You're telling them more police. They say we desperately need other ways. We need to shift funding into social workers, into healthcare, into help other community help. And you say, instead you tweet about how one of the founders of Black Lives Matter bought a house.
Patrice Cullors has 4 homes.
You don't want
and
her
got
to
rich
be able
while
to.
her followers still can't educate.
She's
their
not
children.
allowed.
Yep.
See? They just proved it again. Culture bullshit. They were told BLM was wrong. They never figured it out on their own. They were told to say that BLM was wrong. But then they're the same ones that say, hey, we got black people in our ranks. Oh, man.
Out to get rich? You are, but she's not?
Well, Patrice Cullors goes on bashing capitalist enterprises, saying that she's a Marxist, gets rich while her followers continually have to send her kids to bad schools. So we only have about a minute remaining. So I just want to summarize.
I have one last question for you. Why are you friends with murderers?
What on earth are you talking about?
You said you have friends who've had abortions and you believe abortion is murder.
Let me
so
be
why
clear.
are you friends with murderers?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Thank you.
Abortionists are the murderers. Women that have abortions are
But the abortionists have to be able to abort people. That wouldn't mean people have to go in there and give them the opportunity to abort. So he's right. Why are you friends with murderers? You were friends with Trump. Trump is a murderer. You were friends with JD. JD is a murderer. You were cool with Kash Patel. Kash Patel's a murderer. Y'all were cool with Michael Flynn until he turned on you. Michael Flynn is a murderer. Oh, those were bad people. That's right. Okay. All right. I said, Rob, thank you for the $5 Cash App. That's a blessing. Okay. Yeah. All right.
You said it's a genocide.
They have been they have been captured by the abortion industry. They should be given empathy, respect, care, and compassion.
So
the abortionists should be locked up in prison. And it's people like you
not only
that are
can't decide
okay
for their own bodies,
with the termination and destruction
of
children.
pre-babies / what you think are dolphins.
The 62 million babies
not babies,
that you are okay with
you don't
seeing
care
being
once they're
slaughtered
babies. You don't
in
care
human
once
life.
they're babies.
Thank you, Ben, for joining us.
We appreciate it.
We can do a short overtime segment.
They cut the mic.
Thank you so much. Everybody, debate night?
Solid debate. Solid debate.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
And terrible
Women
way.
can't be reached out to and then make intelligent decisions.
Let me ask you a question.
That's your opinion.
Do you believe
Women
that
can't make intelligent decisions if they were reached out to and shown an ultrasound. They can't make a decision on their own.
Can they still make decisions in panic? And of course they can.
It's only panicked when they have weeks to decide.
Do I believe that women are making a mistake by getting an abortion?
No,
Yes.
you're saying they're murderers.
I'm not saying them. I'm saying the abortionists are murderers.
No, but if you hire a hitman, you're guilty of murder.
Do I think that they allowed murder to occur? Yes, I do.
They allowed murder to occur.
Yes.
They hired a murderer, in your opinion.
Yes.
So you're friends with murderers. Why? Why don't you call 911 and never talk to them again?
Well, I have compassion for
murderers?
Because they
Get some. We ain't got to hear no more. He done lost. He lost. Jesus, he got worked. He got worked like a Hunts Point slut. God, Jesus. Right wingers, I would never talk about abortion again. Because probably your old lady had one before she met you. You can't figure her out. That's why she's tearing up your house right now. That's why y'all want the 19th Amendment. Y'all have to figure out every way to limit a woman's voice. Next is going to be that women shouldn't serve in Congress no more because they don't do nothing. Remember how they got pissed off at them women who were bringing their kids to Congress to do votes? Oh, boy, this was fun. Something fun. All right, y'all. But hopefully you learned something. If you did, done my job. If not, I try to be better next time. We got content coming. Remember, if you're going to be part of the roast next Wednesday, make sure you have your jokes ready. I want good jokes. I know y'all supposed to be Black Americans. You supposed to be FBA. You supposed to be the erythrial roasters, the lineage of Richard Pryor and all that. I want to hear jokes. Don't give me no bullshit, or I will block you. Anyway, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. I got an upload coming later. You're going to like it. Y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence. And before we go, as well, we gotta remember something. This is what Eric is telling JD right now.